Today we're going to do a spoiler review of the FNAF 2 movie. Now I did get a physical copy on Blu-ray, and so I'll be doing a review based on that, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and talk about what the critics think about the FNAF 2 movie, and we'll go over the movie just a little bit, but that's going to be all in this video, so let's get it started. So the FNAF 2 movie starts in 1982, where we see the first Freddy's location, and we get to meet Charlotte Emily. Now, I don't like how they portrayed her in this movie. They make her seem like an outcast, but kind of forced. And then she sees one of the kids be taken back into like the back room for employees by the Yellow Rabbit. And then she goes to warn all the parents, but the parents are like, I don't care, or you can't just see adults are talking. And it just feels so odd, that scene. It just feels very unnatural. And then so she goes in herself to the back room, sees the kid on the floor, presumably dead. And so she tries to take the kid to the parents while avoiding the Yellow Rabbit. And then the Yellow Rabbit chases her down, somehow stabs her. And then and it's the weirdest thing ever. She goes to the stage where the puppet is, starts screaming, drops the child, and somehow the child is alive, and then she just dies, and like none of the parents are like scared or anything, and they're like, oh, there's a dead child right there. And then the puppet comes out from below, carries her in her arms, and then she possesses the puppet. So next scene is where we take 1 year after the end of the first FNAF movie, which is 2002, I believe. And so we meet Vanessa. She's fine. She somehow survived that stab wound that made her pass out. We never get an explanation for that. The only time we actually see like an explanation for how she survived is in the end of the FNAF 1 movie. But she's in the hospital, so we just assume she survived that stab wound. And so she gets a call by Mike saying they should go on a date. Abby's all grown up. She's going to school. And so we see some of that in the movie, and which is pretty nice to see some of the Abby side of the movie. And then we get to meet one of my favorite characters in the whole movie, Mr. Berg. Because Mr. Berg is, he's actually, I think the actor is Wayne Knight, and he's the same guy who plays in Jurassic Park and Seinfeld. And I love Seinfeld, so it's pretty cool to see. What is his? I think his name is like Dennis in Jurassic Park, but it's just so cool to see him in the FNAF movie. But from the start, they made him very hateable, and I knew when I first saw the movie, I knew they were gonna kill him off, and yeah, they did. So there's a big science fair going on, and Abby needs to build her animatronic to compete in the science fair. So she struggles to build an animatronic. At the same time, she's missing her friends, the animatronics, the first animatronics. But even though Chica tried to kill her, she still misses her friends. So while Mike's going on a date with Vanessa, she sneaks in the original location, and then when Mike comes back from the date, she notices that Abby is gone, goes back to the original location, and then he meets Abby there. Once there, Mike grabs a fast talker for Abby, and so they head home. But then Mike notices something. He sees some Fast Fest posters, but then he sees the poster saying Freddy's is murder from the phone number. Then we cut to a paranormal team driving to the original Freddy's location, where they meet Mike. Not just Mike, Michael Afton. Yeah, that is Michael Afton. So they go in, and so they're discovering the location for the first time, and they see the abandoned, water ride carousel. And so they split up. Lisa, the main group leader, goes to the music box because she hears it in their like the headset, and then the other two guys just wander around. So the guy who was driving the van falls into the river with the little puppet figures and dies. I don't even know how he dies. I think he gets shredded by the puppet things. The cameraman gets eaten by the mangle. And so my question is, how did Mike not get attacked from that? The mangle and the mini puppets attack, those two guys, but they don't attack Mike. The only time Mike gets attacked by the animatronic is the puppet, which happens a little later, because Lisa stops the music box that is playing and then the puppet comes out, possesses her, like the puppet's entered, and so Michael Afton hears her screams, comes down, the puppet chases her, and then he's like, "Welcome back, Charlotte." Like, it's some evil master plan. So I'm gonna skip a bit around in the movie. So I'm gonna go to the part with Mr. Berg's death, and here's why. Here's why. I can't tell if they want his death to be serious or not, because his death is the funniest death in a whole movie. And I love how Chica just throws him around, he like bumbles around and falls and everything. And then Chica squeezes his head until he dies, and then she's like, "Yep, there's nothing in here." Like, I can't tell if it's trying to be serious or not. But I did skip around a bit. We did forget the Fast Fest part, which they set up the whole movie for it to only have like 5 seconds of screen time. And so I just feel like this movie just tries to do so many things at once, but it fails. And that's the thing with FNAF 2, it does a lot, but in my opinion, FNAF 2, what it does right is with the phone calls and how the phone call teaches player how to individually beat the animatronics. So Foxy with the flashlight, the mask for all the animatronics besides the puppet and Foxy. And so it's easier for the player to digest what's going on. But in this movie, it tries to do so many subplots, it's just confusing, and it could be a lot sometimes. And there's some parts that just really just drag on for way too long. And one of my scenes I hate the most is what I call the We Are FNAF scene, where the original animatronics beat the toy animatronics. It just, why? It's so weird. I started, like, I don't know if I was cringing or not, but I was just like, why? Why is this in the movie? The FNAF 2 office scene. Yeah, the Withers, where they set up, you know, these old prototype animatronics, only get 2 minutes of screen time. Wither Barney gets like 1 minute and 15 seconds of screen time, which is a shame because the Withers are really cool and they get no screen time. They only get that one office scene, which is, I admit, is pretty cool, but wish could have been a little longer. I do like the Vanessa's backstory a little bit, where it talks about how William's been abusive to her. I do like that, and it builds some character to Vanessa. But then I don't know, man. It's just some of the characters failed. Like, I don't care for Henry, who is in this movie. I don't care for Charlotte. I prefer the game versions because they actually feel like they gave it character. They gave Henry character in FNAF 6. They gave Charlotte Emily, even though we barely know anything about her, gives her character in UCN. I was honestly just really disappointed with this movie. I feel like they could have done so much more, and definitely the fan service is in this movie for sure, more than the first one, but just because it's fan service does not mean it's a good movie. They shouldn't give up fan service and give up writing, you know what I mean? They can have both. My favorite example is the Fallout show. In my opinion, the Fallout show is one of my favorite adaptations of Fallout, which is one of my second favorite video game series that I like. And, you know, it's amazing because they do fan service but also tell a good story. The FNAF 2 movie has the fan service without telling a good movie. And so I wish for the third movie, they could just focus on the story. Okay, cool, add some dialogue from Phone Dude, and, you know, build the characters a lot more. And one thing I'll give the movie is that the sets are amazing. The animatronics are just fantastic. I love how they keep using puppets instead of CGIing like the animatronics. Actors, like, I think the cast is great. I don't think they should get rid of the cast at all. They should keep Emma as a director because I think she has the best intentions, but they often feel like they're just trying to appease fans instead of writing a good movie. And they always use the excuse, well, it's for the fans. Okay, but doesn't mean that we still can't get a good movie. You know, the Sonic movies have fan service, but they also are great movies at the same time. So what does this movie do better than the first one? Well, I think this movie definitely builds the characters a lot more, and it's definitely scarier as well. I'll say that. First movie I wouldn't even consider that as a horror movie. It's not scary, man. Like Hank, I'm not scared of Hank. Like Hank's death was the funniest thing ever when I remember rewatching it I just started laughing because it's not scary. None of it was scary. I wasn't scared at all, but you know, I do have appreciation for these movies, and they always have a spot in my heart because I enjoy the series. I grew up with it. Now, if you're someone who doesn't care for FNAF or never has heard of FNAF, you would hate this movie. I mean, you would think this movie is the most boring, sad excuse of a horror movie, and I agree. But here's the thing, I enjoy the fan service in here to where I can get a chuckle out of it. This is a bad, funny film, that's what I would think. Because there's those moments that make me laugh, even when it's not trying to, even when it's trying to be a real horror movie, it fails because a lot of the scenes, I just don't take it serious enough, or they don't develop it enough to where I can care about it. And it's the same thing with the first movie as well, so I really hope they do fix the writing for the third movie, and you know, just, yes, add the fan service, but just give us a good story, man. And don't let Scott ever write a movie again. Holy crap. This man, I mean, he wrote the whole movie. It didn't say co-written by Scott, it says written by Scott. And you could tell because it just, it's not good, man. It's not good. But I'll say this, Scott is a great game writer to a certain extent, but not a great movie writer. Honestly, rewatching the second movie made me appreciate the first one a lot more because I realized this feels, well, not exactly like the games. It feels like a closer adaptation to the games than the movies. Now, I'm not saying the movies can't do their own thing, like the FNAF trilogy novel, it does its own thing from the games and it could still be good. It's just that the second movie does so much and goes so far astray and feels ridiculous at some points. While the FNAF 1 movie, well, yes, has those ridiculous moments, still feels true to the original source. So, which one do I think is better? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I love the horror in the second one. I'm gonna actually have to go with the first one because it feels like there's an attempt to recreate the FNAF horror. Well, this is a lot scarier than this. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't get scared once in this movie. I think the fact that this feels like a somewhat coherent, like understandable story compared to this, it's just, honestly, it's just really sad because I wanted to enjoy this movie. I enjoyed this movie during the hype, but rewatching the movie made me realize that, you know, this movie has flaws. This one right here, both of them are flawed. Like, they're not, they could be better. I could say that, they could be better. But I appreciate what we have. I appreciate that Universal and Blumhouse are the, people who started the production for the FNAF movies, because I think Universal and Blumhouse were the best people for that, not Warner Brothers. So I do appreciate Universal, and I think they should keep doing it, but there needs to be some big changes, really big changes. And so for FNAF 3 movie, we got a little bit of a teaser at the end of this movie we got to see Springtrap, and I'm kind of scared because it looks like it looks like Sans Springtrap, but I'm excited. I love FNAF 3. I'm a big fan of FNAF 3, and I think the end credit sequence pretty good. I think it did a good job at building suspense for Springtrap. So how would I feel about this movie? I would say it's just bad funny for me, but for a normal person who loves horror and wants to watch a horror movie and watches this, they're not gonna like it. They're not gonna like it. They're gonna think this is the most boring, sad excuse for a horror movie. But I did enjoy some moments like Mr. Berg's death, because I think that was one of the funniest moments in the whole movie, and it has some really good jokes, by the way. So it's not all bad. I understand why the critics don't like it. I don't respect critics, but I understand why they don't like it. So how's the DVD itself? The bonuses are really nice. It's serviceable. It's a DVD, so I can't really reveal on much. But what does this mean for the future of FNAF movies? Well, this one did really good. I think it made triple its budget, but it made less than the first movie, which could be kind of concerning, but it did make triple its budget, and in the business world, that's all they care about. They care about the profits. So they are gonna make a third one. And heck, maybe they'll do a Fazbear Frights TV show, which would be pretty nice. And so with this, we're also gonna get one more piece of merchandise for the movie, which is the FNAF movie novel, FNAF 2 movie novel, sorry. And you might be wondering, wait, we have a FNAF movie novel? Yeah, I mean, it exists. I made 2 videos on it. You should go check them out. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people know this exists, and I believe it's coming out in May, the second one. So that should be an interesting read. So that's the last piece of merchandise for the FNAF 2 movie. Hopefully we do get a house. I would love to see a FNAF 2 movie house in Hornets. But that'll be all for this video. I know it was super quick, or maybe a little bit longer, but I wasn't a big fan of this movie, man. I wanted to like it. I love the fan service. It's just, it does so much, and I just feel like it falls flat on what it's trying to do. It's trying to be a FNAF 2 movie, but it fails at that. Alright guys, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.